Hey everyone, and welcome back to this explainer, brought to you by Forge College. In our last lesson, we unpacked transaction prioritization and miner incentives. Today, we're taking that a step further and looking at ensuring secure value transfer. We're going to bridge the gap between those transaction fees you pay and the actual concrete security of moving your Bitcoin. Let's get right into it. So, what actually happens after you click send? We've all felt that knot in our stomach, right? You hit send on your wallet, the little loading icon spins, and then you just kind of wait. You're staring at that pending status, hoping everything works out. But what's going on behind the scenes during that agonizing wait? Let's decode it together. Here is our blueprint for today. We'll be navigating the mempool highway, looking at priority mechanics, checking out fee signals and security, walking through a real-world coffee shop scenario, and finally, figuring out how to make the right choice. Okay, Section 1, the mempool highway. Building on what we learned about miner incentives, I want you to picture the mempool as this slightly chaotic, highly competitive one-lane highway. Your transaction is basically a package waiting to be delivered. And the miners? Well, they're the mail truck drivers. But they're not salaried. They're looking for the absolute best tolls to maximize their profit before they hit the road. And trust me, they can be ruthless when it comes to collecting a premium. Here's how the journey actually plays out. First, you approach the toll booth, which is where you pay your fee in satoshis per virtual byte. Then, you wait in your lane. That's the mempool queue. Finally, you board the mail truck, meaning your transaction successfully gets mined into a block. Simply put, the higher your toll, the faster you get a seat on that truck. Moving on to Section 2, the priority mechanics. So what happens if you find yourself totally stuck in traffic? First up is your Fast Pass Replace by Fee, or RBF for short. Think of it like a passenger marching right up to the toll booth, slapping down a thicker stack of cash and saying, "Yeah, I'm cutting the line." You're just broadcasting a new, nearly identical version of your unconfirmed transaction, but with a higher fee to instantly bump up its priority. Then we have Child Pays for Parent, or CPFP. Imagine a heavy, low-toll package that's just stuck in the mud, going nowhere. You can actually rescue it by attaching a smaller, super high toll package directly to it. The combined average toll makes the whole load completely irresistible to the next mail truck driver passing by. Basically, the child transaction pays the parent's way. To compare the two, RBF essentially rips up your original toll ticket and writes a brand new, more expensive one. CPFP, on the other hand, bundles a bad deal with a really great one, so miners are happy to pick up both. Knowing exactly when to pull which of these levers is an absolute game changer. Let's dive into Section 3, Fee Signals and Security. Out on the mempool highway, time is literally your biggest enemy. If your package gets scooped up in block 1, it's fast and secure. But if you skimped on the fee and it gets pushed to block 2, you're entering moderate risk territory. Pushed to block 3 or beyond, that's high exposure. Every single block you miss drastically increases the window for a double spend attack. To put it bluntly, time waiting in the mempool equals security risk. Nobody likes sitting in traffic. But in the world of Bitcoin, a slow transaction isn't just a minor annoyance. It's a genuine security vulnerability that malicious actors can, and absolutely will, try to exploit given the chance. And honestly, it can get even worse. If the traffic gridlocks completely, you face something called mempool eviction. This happens when the mempool hits its capacity limit and network nodes just start dropping the transactions with the lowest fee rates. So your package isn't just delayed anymore, it gets kicked off the highway entirely. Next up, Section 4, the coffee shop scenario. Let's bring all this theory down to earth. Suppose you're buying something time-sensitive, in person. Say a 0.25 Bitcoin transaction with a merchant. That's a huge amount of value, right? You're standing right there at the counter, and you absolutely need to get this right. Let's break down your options here. Forking over a high fee of 30,000 satoshis pretty much guarantees you're in the next block. That's your safest route. Trying to be thrifty with a market fee of 15,000, you might be waiting 3 blocks, which carries moderate risk. And if you go low, planning a CPFP rescue later, well, your security just became super complex and incredibly delayed. Not a great look at the checkout counter. So what's the big takeaway? High stakes? Pay the premium toll. If you try to save a few bucks with that 15,000 satoshi market fee for a high-value, in-person transaction, you're leaving yourself totally exposed. A malicious party could use that longer security window to attempt an RBF replacement. Paying the premium effectively slams the double spend window shut and secures your transaction immediately. Finally, Section 5, making the right choice. Let's synthesize everything for your next transfer. Remember to always map your fee estimates to specific confirmation windows, because faster confirmation always equals higher security. Keep in mind that while RBF is an awesome tool, it does add replaceability risk on the receiving end. CPFP is a fantastic rescue line, but only if you actually control the child funds. And above all, set your fees carefully to dodge the dreaded mempool eviction. If you want to keep expanding your Web3 toolkit, dive deeper into transaction construction, and master other fundamentals, make sure to visit forge.college. It's an incredible resource to keep building on what we talked about today. Until next time, I want you to think carefully about the highway you're driving on. Ask yourself, is your next transaction paying enough toll to actually stay safe? It's your value on the line. Make sure your fee is truly securing it. Thanks for tuning into this explainer, and we'll catch you in the next one.